Hey guys, so we have some interesting energy coming in today. We kind of have two simultaneous aspects playing out together that are, on one hand, really sort of reactivating perhaps a lot of the maybe unexpected challenges or things that we've been navigating, the more difficult things that we've been navigating over this past couple of weeks, but also maybe providing some solutions or creating some type of positive turn of events for us somehow. Number one, we have the moon in Taurus today that is going to be coming into a conjunction with Uranus and the North Node in Taurus, opposition to the South Node, squaring Saturn, squaring the Sun. So the moon's presence today in the sign of Taurus with Uranus in the North Node, number one, activating the Uranus North Node Mars conjunction that we had the 1st of August. Number two, activating the Sun square Uranus aspect that we had on the 10th, the full moon in Aquarius that we had on the 11th. Things that just sort of maybe came up out of nowhere or sort of threw stuff up in the air for us during this period of time, this first 2 weeks of August, may be sort of back on the table today. But again, we also have Venus, ruler of Taurus, where the moon is, forming an exact trine to Jupiter in the sky in fire signs. And this is one of the most positive, beneficial, like assisting, facilitating aspects in astrology. So while we may have some more unexpected, difficult things, maybe like popping up today again, there's also a feature of this energy that is really working to create sort of maybe like a positive turn of events, sort of facilitate just things going in a way that is supportive of our interests, essentially. So interesting combo of energy that we have going on today. Let us get into the chart, you guys, break these vibes down and see, in more specifics what might be coming up today and how it might be impacting us on the ground. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Thursday, August 18th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. And if you guys stick with me till the end of the report, I'm going to be talking about some tarot cards that also came out in correspondence with the astrology today, just so that we can sort of tap into the energy field from more than one modality, get a better overall view of what is playing out for us energetically today. So let's start, though, as we always do, with the astrology. First of all, another kind of significant day on an energetic level. This is because we are in a period of time right now that is very characterized by some Uranian energy and some harsh aspects that have been going on with Uranus, with Saturn, with Mars, with the Sun as well. We have had Sun square Uranus, we have had Sun opposition Saturn, we have Uranus back within range, or Saturn back within range of square to Uranus. These things have been shaking things up, perhaps like bringing some serious obstructions, delayed gratifications, setbacks that we maybe like weren't expecting, perhaps some like financial issues, upheavals in partnerships, relationships, the basic like status quo sort of like our material world. And this is because, when Uranus is coming into effect, Uranus is also the ruler of the age of Aquarius that we are collectively transitioning into right now. We are just going through a process of sort of being shooken out of anything that is out of alignment with our authentic truth, both internally in terms of our own like self-limiting beliefs and our own thought loops and thought patterns and subconscious programming and stuff like that, as well as the actual circumstances and the physical like relationships and scenarios and like structures and forms and situations that we have therefore created for ourselves in the world at this point in time. Anything that is not in alignment with our authentic truth is really having to undergo like some major recalibration at this point in time, and it is causing a lot of issues, and there's a lot of like conquering limitations and setbacks within ourselves as a part of this awakening process, this conscious awakening process, really what all this is leading towards as we are going through this experience. And I feel like that is kind of what a lot of this has been about over this past couple of weeks. But anyways, the energy today, the moon coming into the sign of Taurus, is going to be forming, again, a conjunction to both Uranus and the North Node in the sign of Taurus. Uranus and North Node in the sign of Taurus. This is about trying to, again, like shake us out of something, some type of rut, or wake us up to something in regards to the truth of our own value, our own potential, and our own ability to tap that potential, cultivate those resources, actually like activate our destiny, essentially, with the North Node right there, based on the recognition of the internal value, the internal resources, and our ability to really work with that to create something physical, tangible that can support us in the material world, the sign of Taurus, going into the future. But it needs to be in that authentic alignment. And so lots of just like stuff coming up right now. And in the energy today, with this moon coming into the conjunction in the sign of Taurus with Uranus in the North Node, this is definitely going to be like activating not only the Uranian Taurian vibes, which could in and of itself bring some more like, I don't know, like divinely aligned or fated or destined situations that we might find ourselves navigating today or feel like is a part of our experience. But also, you know, it's setting up this dynamic of bringing back into effect things that went on around the 1st of August with Mars, Uranus, and the North Node together. Things that went on around the 10th of August when the sun was an exact square to Uranus, because the moon is also going to be squaring the sun in Leo, and it's also going to be squaring Saturn in Aquarius today. Although the sun and Saturn are no longer in exact opposition, this energy, they're still only a couple degrees away from each other, and the moon moves quickly, so the moon's going to be hitting all of these points, which is really bringing us back to the sun square Uranus energy that we had, and also our full moon in Aquarius, which really set up a grand cross between Uranus, the North Node, the South Node of the moon in Scorpio, and also Saturn was in a conjunction to the moon in Aquarius, and then we had the sun in Leo. So we had this grand cross in effect. This was a moon to me that was really a lot about trying to bring us back to life by pushing us back into that authentic alignment and where we really need to be to start growing in a proper direction that is really conducive to what is going to bring us like our greatest level of like joy and fulfillment and purpose and ability to really thrive and feel alive in this life, these Leo vibes. But also simultaneously with the moon in the conjunction to Saturn, this is also representing like setbacks and restriction and limitation and on an internal emotional level as well, like really holding ourselves back, withdrawing our energy, like delayed gratification for sure. If Leo is the sign ruling like the heart and happiness and joy and gratification, Saturn in an exact opposition to the sun for the full moon in Aquarius, that would definitely very much represent like delayed, limited, repressed, held back, those things. And then we're talking about, you know, this dynamic of the north and the south node of the moon, like a karmic detox that is a part of this also, in Uranus, the great rectifier, like putting things right, shakeups, unexpected stuff, shocks, like also the great liberator, also the great awakener, all of it. So very much, and then these square aspects as well. This brings contention, like this brings difficulty, this brings tension, this brings conflict, this brings frustration. So a lot of things coming to a head that need to be basically like recalibrated, rearranged in order so that everything involved in the situation can come back into a greater alignment with its authentic growth trajectory and authentic potential. And again, like I'm saying, kind of feel like I'm going off on like this weird tangent again a little bit, but I'm trying to bring it back to the fact that the moon coming into this alignment today is likely to be bringing up some of those issues that we have been navigating over this past couple weeks. Also just generally, you know, when we have a moon conjuncting Uranus, this is shocks, surprises, things not going according to plan, things sort of hitting us out of the blue, like things just like spontaneously happening, like sort of a internal compulsion, especially with the north node there, to be free, to change things up, to break out of any type of like just like monotony or just things like going along the same way. We really want to sort of switch things up and feel a sense of freedom and liberation and an ability to align with our authenticity when we have the moon coming into a conjunction with Uranus, period. So all these things may sort of be encompassed in whatever experiences are today. However, like I was saying, there are likely to be some positive changes in events going on, positive or facilitated turn of events. And that is because, yes, we do have the moon setting off these issues today, setting off these things that we may have been dealing with. However, this is a moon in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Venus right now is currently ruling Uranus, is ruling the north node, and today is also ruling the position of the moon. Venus today is in a very auspicious aspect with Jupiter, coming to the exact trine to Jupiter in the sky in fire signs. Venus is in Leo, Jupiter is in Aries. This is one of the most positive aspects in all of astrology. And she's ruling, right, the position of the moon, Uranus, and the north node, whatever has been causing these shakeups, and also in the square to Saturn, the square to the sun, the opposition to the south node. So whatever these issues are that we've been dealing with over this past couple of weeks that may be coming up or being re-triggered in the energy today, it's like in a positive light. It's like I said, like a positive turn of events, like something being facilitated, something working out in our best interest because of Venus in the trine to Jupiter, the great benefic. Like Jupiter brings blessings, Jupiter brings luck, Jupiter brings positivity, optimism, hope, faith, trust, like wisdom, a higher expanded viewpoint, just like positive feelings. And we're talking about Venus. This is like, we are just sort of on top of the world today in terms of the way that we are feeling on more of like a heart-based level. And this is also talking about Venus in the sign of Leo as well. We are just really wanting to enjoy, to celebrate life, to socialize, to engage in like romance. Like this is just a very like romantic, pleasant, sociable, kind, compassionate, gentle, like creative, artistic, like entertainment, like all of that type of stuff like that. Very much just bringing positivity and benefiting our interests today, regardless of what is like coming up or what is transpiring. So I find it very interesting that this is the way that things are playing out, considering, what we may have been up against, what we may have been facing. We are definitely getting some galactic support as these issues may be coming up again for us in this energy today. So issues and challenges that come up or difficult things that we've been dealing with should definitely see a favorable turn of events or outcome in the energy as it's playing out today. And this is also with Venus in the trine to Jupiter. This also, just this energy, like on its, basic foundation, it has a tendency to just generally make people more agreeable, more pleasant, more like open-hearted, just generally in good spirits when we have Venus and Jupiter coming into the conjunction like that, because Jupiter expands things. And again, Venus rules our ability to relate and to socialize with other people. And so there's just an expansive ability to like sort of be on our best behavior. People should be acting quite lovely in the energy. And because we're feeling good internally, this is like positive feelings inside. Therefore, we are more likely to be feeling positively outside. And therefore, whatever we have going on in terms of interacting with other people is likely to go, smoother and better than normal, just because there is this facilitated energy that is just bringing these positive vibes sort of like across the board today. Today, definitely a day of more strong Uranus energy. Like I was saying, of course, with the moon coming into the conjunction with Uranus, shocks, surprises, expect the unexpected, just like maybe things happening suddenly, especially along these Taurus lines, finances, love, like money, relationships, economies, food, also supplies, material comforts, material possessions, just like indulging in things as well, like luxury and stuff like that. Maybe something like beauty, art, like that stuff may be holding more of a prominence today than it usually does. And it's also interesting the degree of the sun today, 26 degrees of Leo, while this is playing out. That Sabian symbol is after a heavy storm, a rainbow appears. And I feel like that is very descriptive of the dynamic that is playing out today. It's like the heavy storm would be this like moon, Uranus, north node, opposition south node, square to Saturn, square to the sun, like re-triggering maybe this like storm of issues that we may have been dealing with, but it's talking about after a heavy storm, a rainbow. And then we have Venus and Jupiter coming through, bringing this like beautiful, glorious, splendid rainbow that is making everything okay in the end. So I feel like the Sabian, where the sun is today, is really doing a good job of sort of describing the interplay or the dynamic between these two aspects as they're ongoing today. Very Venus oriented day as well. Like I said, we have the moon in Taurus, emphasizing this Taurus energy ruled by Venus, and the Venus vibes just being very, very expanded to like the positive and the benefic levels today. So very great for money. Like I said, love, relationships, romance, creativity, art, beauty. We definitely do want to watch self-indulgence, and maybe like being a little bit lazy today, especially indulging in food for sure, when we're talking about like the moon in Taurus as well, ruling food, Jupiter expanding things. Like we really, that may be something that we want to watch out for a little bit today. This is a very strongly pleasure-seeking energy. Like I was saying earlier, very social, people in good spirits, social events, amusement, entertainment. You may find yourself just like organically engaging in that type of stuff today, or being more like spontaneously drawn to it. Also like our beauty. This is like a great like spa day or something if you just like can't take it anymore and you need to relax, like a day to like pamper ourselves and like indulge. We just want to make sure that we are not doing it in a way that is like detrimental to our overall well-being, right? But also, you know, we have to remember that this Venus Jupiter is happening in the context of Uranus North Node being activated by the moon. Changes in plans, sudden meetings and awakenings could really be coming through. We also do still have Mercury in a loose trine to Uranus, so this could be unexpected news or information as a part of this, with the moon also forming the trine to Mercury in Virgo as well. We could be getting some details or some facts that like clear things up for us in some type of a way. Probably a little bit surprising or unexpected like news or information, conversations coming in. We might hear from somebody that like awakens us to something in some way, or like brings some clarity in some type of a way with this energy playing out as well. Especially, yeah, once we tie Mercury in with the trine also to this moon aspect, you know, news, information, things that we're learning, connections, interactions, doing something to positively alleviate maybe some of the difficulties that we've been dealing with. This is the type of thing coming through today as well. Like I said, also a highlight on these Venus themes. Be careful with overeating, themes of value and themes of beauty. Not only because we're talking about Venus today, very emphasized, the moon in the sign of Taurus, of course, ruled by Venus, very strong Venusian energy, especially in the trine to Jupiter, like super sized. But also in the Sabian symbols today, we have like themes like this, describing this going on. We have Mercury today in the trine to the moon. The moon is forming the trine to Mercury. And that is, again, like that is facilitating this information or what we're learning or these connections that are like very important. There could be some important news or information that is clearing things up for us somehow coming through in the energies today. But Mercury is at a royal coat of arms enriched with precious stones. So this is quite a Venusian degree. We're talking about a royal and a Venus and Leo degree for sure too, because Leo is the sign of royalty. Venus would rule precious stones for sure. So we're talking about a royal coat of arms enriched with precious stones, like basically very much so describing Venus's placement in Leo and in the expansion with Jupiter today, this facilitated expanded trine aspect. Value though, like that is clearly representing some type of significance, some type of value that is being represented through the embedding of these stones in this royal coat of arms. It's a valuable piece, right? And then we have Venus herself today at 9 degrees of Leo and an exact trine to Jupiter at 9 Aries. That degree is glass blowers shape beautiful forms with their controlled breathing. This is about literally creating beauty, like with our own resources, right? With our own breath, like with our own internal life force. And that is what this North Node Taurus Uranus conjunction is actually trying to teach us to do and help us to do, to figure out how to create beauty and material comfort and stability and abundance in our lives through tapping into our own life force and literally manifesting it. Glass blowers create beautiful forms with their controlled breathing by literally like breathing our beautiful reality into existence based on this life force energy within us and our ability to recognize it, tap into it, cultivate it. And then again, this is also based on that recognition of the value in this royal coat of arms that we are getting fit for, I guess you could say, getting fitted for at this point in time, encrusted with enriched with these precious gems. And then we also have Mars at 30 degrees of Taurus today, a peacock parading on the terrace of an ancient castle. So again, we're talking about a royal coat of arms, and now we're talking about a peacock, this like beautiful, majestic bird parading on the terrace of an ancient castle, of an old castle, again bringing these themes of like royalty and regalness and value and like pride also. And then of course we have Jupiter at 9 degrees of Aries. A seer gazes intently into a crystal ball in front of them. In the trine to Venus, glass blowers shape beautiful forms with their controlled breathing. So it's like the recognition of this value or the recognition of this resource, or in terms of like the old castle, it's almost like we're tapping back into like our ancient self or like our original purpose as well, and recognizing that value in the royal coat of arms enriched with these precious gems that was once existent and a part of that like experience and that version and that view and that value for ourselves. It's like we're rediscovering the royal nature of our own internal life force, and how are we using that? We're using that to create something, some type of beautiful form or structure in our lives that can actually do something to help like carry us forward along a path of authentic growth in some type of way that's also stabilizing our material world and allowing us to experience like abundance and joy and pleasure and the true feeling of like being alive with all of these Leo vibes going on as well. And then of course we have Uranus 19 Taurus, a new continent is rising out of the ocean. So this is all about this recreation of this new world that is associated with the truth of our original and authentic value, this precious royal coat of arms enriched with precious stones. But then like with the Jupiter and Venus, it's like, yes, and we are discovering that and we are using that to recreate this reality around us, this new world that we are heading towards now, and that is emerging out of the ashes or out of just the paradigm and our personal paradigm of the past. And then it's also funny because we actually, even though the black moon is not in effect today because it's not being triggered by the moon in either Cancer or Capricorn, the black moon also moves to 15 degrees of Cancer today. And that Sabian symbol is a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. And this is like also sort of reminding me of like the Venus-Jupiter trine vibes going on, and perhaps just like a need to sort of like not, you know, if we find ourselves trying to like self-soothe or self-medicate in some way today to sort of like counteract whatever may be just like popping off for us, we may want to watch that overeating again, as even the black moon, like our fears, our subconscious programming, is specifically talking about a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. So, maybe it's just part of the day today. Maybe overeating it and enjoying it is something therapeutic that we like genuinely need for ourselves. So there's always that side of it too, but there's just a tendency for some overindulgence, perhaps in the realms of like food or even like wine and stuff like that, things coming from the earth when we're dealing with the sign of Taurus. Also though, could be spending money, that very much as well. I want to watch overspending, overindulging just generally. So that is what I have to say today, you guys, for our report today. Just, yeah, themes of value and beauty, restoring our connection and relationship to our own self-love, inner value, and beauty. That I feel like is kind of like the overall point and purpose of the energy that we have going on today. Let's talk about the tarot cards for a quick minute that came out in conjunction with our astrological story today. We got 3 cards and some cards on the back of the deck to talk about. Okay, so the first card that we had coming out of the deck today is the 3 of Wands. And this is a card about sort of being on, like, needing to take a minute to wait, like waiting for something to happen. Like, kind of like knowing what's happening next, knowing the direction that we're going in, knowing what we want to create, knowing what we want to, use our energy to accomplish, but sort of not being at the point of takeoff yet. But then the next card that we have coming in is the point of takeoff, you guys. This is the Knight of Swords. This is talking about like some type of very swift information. This is like Uranus energy, Mercury Uranus energy, like some type of information or communication or message or flash of insight or epiphany or something like just like hitting us in some type of very like quick, sharp way on like an information or communication based level. And then we got the card, the Strength card. This is actually a lot about the Leo vibes. This is, like strength and courage and the ability to like persevere through things, or just to like hold tight to our faith and to not be intimidated generally by circumstances. And then on the back of the deck, we actually had a very interesting sequence of cards coming up, like very interesting. And so I'm just going to do them all. We got the Emperor, we got the Lovers, we got the Empress, we got the Magician, and we got the Ace of Coins. So, when we're putting all of these cards together, it's like we still may be at a bit of like a waiting point right now. Like we may still be dealing with quite a bit of this Sun Saturn opposition vibes, like these holdups or just like delays to our progress, delays to our plan. Like we are still waiting for something to come and take us away, basically move us forward in this new direction. And there is something coming. It's coming really quickly, and it's gonna hit us probably out of the blue, like really just like bam, like just a message or information or something. And it's going to perhaps require us to, you know, have some strength, to have some endurance, to have some like persistence, and most importantly, like to trust our faith, to like really have faith. Like, but then when we're talking about the message on the back of the deck, like this is talking about like being tremendously self-empowered and like in our own power. This is talking about like some type of like divine union or divine partnership or like evenly matched reflection pair partnership. This is talking about like being manifested. This is an insanely powerful configuration of cards that's bringing about like some type of tangible new opportunity. It's like we need to have strength right now, and we need to have endurance, and we need to have like just a little bit of like commitment and resolve and loyalty to our waiting game maybe right now, or just faith. Like we need to, like we may feel like we're waiting on something right now. We don't know how things are going to go exactly. Maybe we're lacking a bit of clarity. This is saying we need to really have strength and trust the process and rest in our faith at this point in time, because there is going to be something coming very quickly, some type of information that is going to result in some type of like profound new opportunity that is going to be like made manifest or created in our reality. And it is having a lot to do with like divine alignments. Like, and I'm not necessarily talking about like romantic relationships or anything like that, although that is very much what this could symbolize with the Emperor, the Empress, and the Lovers, like things that are happening right now. It's like, but it also could be like our heart's true love, like our soul's true love, like the things that really like fill us up inside, the things that really fill us with that sense of purpose and wholeness and fulfillment, like the connections, the opportunities, the understandings, the mindsets, the perceptions, the decisions, the choices. Like we are on the brink of, you know, gaining some type of understanding, some type of clarity, some type of insight, some type of knowledge, some type of information that is putting us more in a place of self-empowerment, putting us in a place of our own like personal value, creativity, resourcefulness, drawing in opportunities. But we may have to make some choices as well. But it's like the ultimate, like we're manifesting this, what we're getting out of this ultimately is these brand new opportunities that are very much grounded in the physical world and that are providing like a very fertile environment for success and growth going forward. So these cards are saying, you guys, that, you know, there may be something that is sort of like hitting us out of the blue right now that like we weren't expecting, like rushing forward, some type of information that may cause us to need to have a little bit of strength, a little bit of faith, a little bit of endurance, to just trust the process, to have a little bit of a loyalty to the process at this point in time and to what we are moving towards, to what we are waiting on, to what we know is coming to us. Because what is coming next is some type of a divine union, either with like ourself merging with spirit that allows us to like create and experience like a sense of true wholeness and fulfillment within us in terms of what we are creating and just how we are living our lives generally, or some like actual connections or partnerships that are based on this sense of self-empowerment and recognition of the value within us that are creating these opportunities, or this sense of balance that is leading to this ability, this opportunity, this enhanced like capability to manifest these new opportunities with very strong potential for like success and all that like material abundance and stuff going forward. So that's what we have to say in terms of the tarot message today in conjunction to the energy. So, you know, it's kind of still reflecting both ways, like that series of cards, like the Lovers, the Empress, that's Venus, right? The Emperor, and the Emperor rules the sign of Aries, where Jupiter is right now, and talking about the Magician as well. It's and also the Ace of Pentacles, like this Taurus energy. I feel like that aspect that was on the back of the deck is like what is represented in this Venus Jupiter energy today. But like the cards that came out first, you know, the Three of Wands, the Ace of, or the Knight of Swords, and what was the other one? What was it? Where was it? How did I already forget? Strength. That I feel like is sort of representing the other side of things, like the moon, Uranus, setting up this grand cross today with the South Node and Saturn and the Sun. So, and then we do have Mercury in trine to Uranus as well with this Knight of Wands energy, or this Knight of Swords energy. So, interesting, you guys. Let's now grab one more card, a Synchronicity card. Let's see what final piece of advice God, Spirit, Universe has for us as we are navigating this energy today. Which again should be like pretty interesting day, probably a pretty unusual day. Things probably aren't going like, you know, along their normal scheduled course of things. There we have a card that wants to come out. It's so funny, you guys. Because when I was talking earlier about, you know, wanting to watch out and not like overindulge too much today, you know, a group of people who have overeaten the position of the North or of the Black Moon, and that we might just, you know, maybe we do need to overindulge in like food or something like that, say, but just not in a way that is detrimental to like our own well-being. While I was talking about that, I was literally seeing the Synchronicity card in my mind that says, don't abuse your body. And then I literally just shuffled these cards like on camera. You guys all saw them. And this is the one that came out and flew out of my lap, and it says, don't abuse your body. That is so freaking weird and synchronistic. These cards are magical. Okay, anyways, it says, don't abuse your body, therefore glorify God in your body, 1 Corinthians 6:20. It is wrong to abuse your body. It's one of the holy temples of God. Likewise, austerities, rigidities, and a stiffness have no value in spirit to you. Your body is the nest where God dwells, and you should make it a channel for vitality, wholeness, beauty, and perfection. Forgive yourself for the past and get on with a healthy, whole life. And I just feel like it's so ironic because that's like really the only word of like caution sort of in the energy today, is to not like, you know, just take things over the top and indulging in a way that is not ultimately beneficial to like our overall well-being. And that is exactly what our advice from God and Spirit is today in the context of this energy. So even that tells me that I feel like things are definitely, you know, moving in our best interest today, like greatly benefiting our interests or what we need to happen or what we want to happen, our desired outcome in the energy today, as long as, of course, if it's long in alignment with our authentic truth and what is in the highest and the best for us and everyone involved. But that's the message that we have coming through today, you guys. A message from the stars, a message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you just a little bit of whatever you might be needing as you're going throughout your day today. If you guys did like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would like this type of content and be interested in this stuff too. Leave me comments, you guys. I really appreciate your comments. I really appreciate your feedback. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We have a weekend of astrology to talk about. Mars is going to be moving into Gemini this weekend. We're going to have some stuff to talk about in terms of that, and just a little bit more to get into. We also have Mercury moving in opposition to Neptune. This is a little bit something to look out for, so we'll talk about that as well. So yes, I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful day, and until tomorrow, bye everyone.